Alright everybody, I am going to do a video today on this Ficus benjamina. It's a smaller tree. Well, I'm going to have to work on my videoing techniques with my phone because not so good yet. But this is a... and my phone won't... okay, never mind. That's as close as, or far back as I can get with this camera. There we go. It's not a very large tree. I mean, that's my hand, so it's not very big. It's about twice the size of my hand, I guess. It's got a lot of yellow leaves on it, here and here. I mean, it's got quite a few yellow leaves all the way around it. Don't mind my workbench. I've got a lot of stuff going on, so it's all... it's got stuff everywhere. Kind of distracting for me anyway. I don't know if it's distracting for you, but it is for me. So anyway, I'm gonna do a repotting. If you notice, this trunk is getting way too big for this pot, and I want the tree to get bigger. These Ficus benjaminas look really nice as larger trees. So I'll actually walk out here and show you a couple of them that are larger. Look really nice. This one, well, this one's not a whole lot taller, but at one point it was really big. I've showed this in other videos. That was the trunk. The tree was, I don't know, about 2 foot, almost 2 foot tall. Looked really good in that pot. It was actually starting to look really good, and this last winter almost died. So there's that one, and then there's this one right here. This one's getting a little bit bigger, starting to look nice. Got a lot of surface and aerial roots starting to come out. Got an aerial root right there. So this one's looking really good. It's getting big. That one's going to need a trimming here in the near future also. And then I've got a couple over here that I just repotted. This one not too long ago. I completely defoliated it about, I think it was about a month ago, and you can see that it's got a lot of really nice small leaves on it as compared to these leaves on this one. I haven't defoliated this one this year yet. I'm gonna actually repot this one here in the near future also, so that I can defoliate it, get some smaller leaves on it, get some more ramification. But it is looking good. It's looking healthy. It's got a couple of yellow leaves that I'll have to trim off. And then this one here, I just repotted this one also. It's looking really good. It's got some good roots on it. And I trimmed off a really large root right here. You can see a whole bunch of roots poking out the top of it. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that develops. And then over here, I've got quite a few on my cutting bench that I just recently defoliated all these about 2 weeks ago, I'd say, and they all have new leaves back on them already, so they're looking really nice. Got leaves falling from the trees onto them. And then yeah, so I've got quite a few over here that are gonna need some work here in the near future. Pretty excited about that, so we'll see if I do some videos on that. I should. I want to do more videos than I have been, because it just kind of seems like I do a video and a couple of months later I'll do a video, and I really want to start doing a lot more videos, so we'll see how that goes. So here is the tree that we're working on, and I don't have a tripod for my phone, or bipod, tripod, whatever you want to call it. I don't have one of those for my phone yet, so I'm gonna have to go through and do the work like I did on the last one, and then kind of explain what I did. I'm going to do a little bit of explanation right off the rip here. So all the leaves that are yellow, I'm going to take those off. I am going to leave the newer leaves, and well, that's a spider web. I was going to say I just watered it so the leaves are sticking together. There's a spider web. Try and get that apart so it doesn't grow funky. And there's bugs everywhere in my greenhouse, so pardon that also. So I'm going to take all the yellow leaves off, and we'll go from there. I am going to repot it, so I'll probably take it out of the pot too. I'm not going to do a video on how to clean the roots or anything like that on this one. I'm just going to do the work. Eventually I will do videos on that too. It's not complicated. Just get the soil out of the finer outer roots, and then and then just get it ready for a new pot. All right, I'm gonna pause it and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, oh, got the camera wrong. Here we go. So as I was trimming here, I found one leaf that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Actually, two leaves that I want to talk to you guys about. So on the ficus, it grows a leaf off the branch, and then at the bud of the leaf, at the end of the leaf, it'll grow a new branch. So what I do, I don't know if this is exactly right, but I've had a lot of success with it. What I do is once it's got a leaf on it like this, then I will take my scissors and I will cut off this leaf, but I will cut it off generally right at the leaf so that it leaves the stem of the leaf on there. And ficus trees bleed, so that's normal. Don't worry about that, it's not going to kill it. But I'll take it off right there, and then eventually once this dries up, you can just tap it and it'll come right off. So I have another one of those right here I'm going to do, and be really careful not to am I actually filming what I'm looking at? There we go, now I'm filming. It's kind of tough with one hand and scissors and all of this. So anyway, try not to cut the branch off, because generally you're trying to grow more branches and not take all of them off. There we go. So I got that off of there, and you can see that it's got the, where am I at? Here we are. So you can see it's got the leaf on it. Sometimes the leaves will be bigger than other times, and yeah, so we got all of the dead leaves off of it. I've got some branches growing over other branches and through branches, and branches growing on top of branches. So I am going to go through this and cut a couple of those branches off, the ones that are going to cause problems eventually, so that we can, avoid future issues before future issues become issues. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will come back. Okay, so I wanted to show you one of these branches before I cut it off. It is, I'll move this out of the way, it's right here. It is at the base, if you can see it. I don't know, maybe you can see it better when it's actually filmed rather than when you're filming. So this branch right here is at the base of the trunk right there. I know it's going to show past the tree. Autofocus is so fun, isn't it? So anyway, so this branch here, it's growing right at the trunk of the tree and right off the end of this branch. So I'm going to take this branch off so that it doesn't cause inverse taper right here, which it'll cause swelling in the underside of this branch. It'll look weird, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Okay, so I took that branch off, and you can see right there, it looks pretty good. Making it look better. I mean, you want your tree to look like a tree in nature, so having branches sticking straight up, having branches like crossing other branches like this one was, you want to remove those so that your tree can, so it can have, for one, so it can have more light go through the tree. This one obviously doesn't have a whole lot of trouble with that yet. At some point it could, if you continuously let the inner branches grow, like really the close ones inside, and like this one, I probably should have taken this one off, except that it kind of forks right there. I kind of like that because it's going to give this section of the tree more of a canopy, so I'm going to leave that. But lower branches, generally they're a large branch, coming off the trunk and then splits a little ways down the branch. It doesn't generally have a huge branch and a huge branch right off right off of each other. This one is a little close to the trunk here, but not too bad, because eventually this section will grow out also, so in between here and there won't be too bad. And if it becomes an issue down the road, that can be removed and dealt with. It's not too big of a deal, especially with these ficus trees. They heal pretty quickly, so a cut like that later on down the road wouldn't be detrimental to the style of the tree, and it would not make it look bad. Okay, so I got all the branches trimmed up, I got all the leaves off, so now it's time to take it out of the pot, and I'll just remove it right from the pot and then come back. Okay, so I got it out of the pot. Here's the pot it was in. One of the screens stuck to the bottom of the tree, so I'm going to turn the tree on its side here and take that out. You can see all the cool little roots. Those were going through the bottom of the pot. So basically just grab the screen, just kind of gently rip it out of the roots. It's going to damage some of the roots on the bottom here, but a lot of these roots are going to be trimmed anyway, because all these tiny little feeder roots all the way across the bottom here, I mean, they just kind of come right off anyway if you just barely pull on them. And the mat of roots on the bottom here, that'll actually cause the pot not to be able to percolate, which means the water going through the soil is percolating. So it'll cause it to be root bound, which is kind of what you're going for with a bonsai tree. You kind of want it to be root bound, but not to an excess to where the water doesn't go through the soil, because you want the bottom of the soil to be as wet as the top of the soil when you water the tree. And obviously you want it to dry out, and I just water this tree. Not generally the best time to repot it, because it's harder to get the soil off when it's all wet and sticking together. So we'll deal with that, no big deal. And I'm gonna try and keep these aerial roots here, because I think I want to keep most of these on here. This one's kind of funky, growing straight up in the air like that. It's a little weird. I might take that one off, or I don't know, maybe let it grow out some more and then bend it down into the soil. I'll probably take that one off. I don't like that. So, all right, so I'm gonna take the soil off, and I'll show you what I got. All right, so I wanted to show you a couple of things with the roots. So on the roots of these ficus trees, they get rather large and bulbous. This one's not too terrible, but the fact that it is bending down and back into the pot backwards this way, I'm going to trim this off up here, like right up here, so that eventually it'll start growing out into the pot. I might actually take that one completely off, because this one looks like it's growing out of there too. You don't want too many giant roots growing out of the bottom of it, because I mean, you got like a small one here, and then a giant one over here, and then this huge one right here. This one is huge. It goes all the way across here. It's just bigger than my finger. So I kind of like that one, so I think I'm going to leave that one for now. I might split it later once the tree gets a little bit bigger, because ficus trees, I could take a knife and cut down the center of the root, and then put a wedge in it and be able to make that into 2 roots instead of just 1 root. So I might do that later on, but I'm definitely going to cut this one off, and then there's one on the bottom here that is also doing the same thing. It's actually the large root right there. So I'm gonna cut it off right here, right at the end of the root, so that it can grow. It'll probably do the same thing as that other tree I showed you earlier. It's gonna just grow a whole bunch of little roots out the end into the pot. And I'm gonna be putting this into a bigger pot, so it'll have plenty of room to grow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll come back. Okay, so the more I got into digging at the roots, the more found out that I'm just gonna wash the roots out, and I did. And you can see how crazy these roots look. That's the large root that I was talking about. Ended up that was actually the root that I was talking about, the one that comes off of here. So that's kind of interesting looking there. This one's just kind of hanging there, so I'm going to take that one off. It's almost off anyway. Some of these over here I'm going to work on too. I'm going to probably take the middle one out of here. This one here, take that out. Clean up a couple of the smaller roots up here on top. These ones here. The bottom ones look pretty good. This one that's bending around and this one that's broke off, I'm gonna fix those. Sometimes the roots are really fragile, so you got to be careful on them. But that one I wanted to come off right there anyway, so I'm gonna cut this one off. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to break them off, because they're just gonna grow back just like as if you cut them. Ficus trees, you can do that. I don't know if any other trees you can do that, so be careful with that. But yeah, looking all right. I'm gonna go ahead and do some trimming, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I got all the roots trimmed off here. It doesn't look too bad. I took the one out from underneath the bottom there, trimmed that one shorter so that it sit down in the pot a little bit more, trimmed that one shorter so it'll sit down in the bottom of the pot more. So yeah, it's looking good, ready for repotting. And I'll get out the pot and the soil, and I'll be right back. Okay, so tree pot and soil. This is my bonsai soil mix. I order it pre-mixed. It just makes it a lot easier. I think I get it from the Bonsai Supply is where I got this from. Good soil. I like it so far. Really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pile up some soil in the bottom of the pot here, so that I can put the tree on the mound of soil. And since there's not a whole lot of roots left, I'm going to put more soil in it. Generally, if I have deeper roots, then I will not put as much soil, but I'm going to mound it up pretty good right in the middle there. And I do it to where it sticks up above the pot, so that when I take the tree, and I'm not one to like find a front or back of the tree. I think this tree looks good from all angles. So I'm just, since the roots are facing this direction more so than this way, I don't want to cut them off. So, and I would have to if I did it that way. So that's why I'm going to do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the base of the tree nice and firm to where I have a grip over here on the roots and a grip on the back over here on the roots. And then I'm going to push it down and twist it to where it works, and you can see it working the soil up into the roots. I'm going to push it down to where the base of the tree sits level with the pot. I'm going to work it and work it and work it just to where it can stand up by itself like this. And then I'll add more soil to it. I'll get my smaller scoop so I can be more delicate with it. And I will add soil to, obviously, to the corners and over the tops of the roots here. I need to practice this more, doing the camera in my other hand and being able to see what I'm doing and let you guys see what I'm doing. I don't know if any of y'all have done this before, but it's exciting. I've heard a lot of people talk about it's so tough doing this and so tough doing that, and I'm like, how tough can it be? And yeah, it's pretty tough. It's worth it though, because I want to be able to show you guys what I'm doing, and I love doing this, so might as well try and help educate other people to be able to do it. It's a fun hobby. Keep you grounded. So at this point, obviously the tree is still very wiggly in the pot. So you're going to take a chopstick. So I've got this really cool metal chopstick. Came with some bonsai soil I got. So you're going to work the soil. I poke it in, kind of work it side to side. And you can see the soil goes down into that little hole right there. And you poke more soil into the hole. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the soil into the roots. You want the soil to be touching all the roots, and all the roots to have soil touching them, basically, because if the roots don't have something touching them, like the soil touching them, then they can't absorb water. So you definitely want your tree to be able to absorb water. And also by jamming the soil into the pot, it actually tightens the tree into the pot also. A lot of people like using wire. I do also. This tree, I don't think it's going to be necessary to use water. They grow their roots reasonably rapidly, so that's also why I left all the leaves on it, so the roots can grow faster. So as the roots grow, it's going to stable itself in the pot. Obviously a tree's roots are for multiple purposes, to to stable themselves in the soil, whether it be in a pot or in the ground, and to absorb water so that it can feed its leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and do the soil, get it all in there, get it all tight, and then I will do a spin around for y'all and water it and put it on the bench. Okay, so I got all the soil in here and got it all worked out. Got a new little spider friend cruising around. Oh, he says no. Oh well, he'll hang out probably, hopefully. Keep the bugs off the tree. I actually like spiders. I know most people don't, but spiders are pretty cool. They aren't out to get you, they're just out to eat bugs. So anyway, so got it all trimmed up, got it all repotted, and it's ready to do some more growing. So thank you everybody for watching. Really appreciate your support, and like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Alright, so one last thing I just wanted to show you it sitting on the bench. I got some other cool trees out here. This one I think I need to do some trimming on. It's growing wild, like crazy wild. So maybe next time I do a video, I'll do it on this one. It's not ready to do any serious styling with. I kind of want to let it get bigger, so I'm going to probably just chop it way back, get rid of some branches, and I'll show you guys how that goes. But thanks for watching, and have a great day.